Good morning, y'all. Come on. Whew. Have no fear. Luke chapter 12, verse 4 through 7. I tell you, my friends, do not fear those who kill the body, and after that have nothing more that they can do. But I will warn you whom to fear. Fear him who, after he has killed, has authority to cast into hell. Yes, I tell you, fear him. Are not 5 sparrows sold for 2 pennies? And not one of them is forgotten before God. Why, even the hairs on your head are all numbered. Fear not. You are more than the value than many sparrows. Luke 12, 4 through 7 teaches that the followers of Jesus should not fear humans who can only harm the body, but should instead fear God, who has authority over both the body and the soul after death. This passage encourages us to have a greater reverence for God, emphasizing that God sees and cares for us, even numbering the hairs on our head, and remembering us even more than sparrows. The core meaning is to prioritize spiritual and eternal concerns over physical fear and worldly persecution. Do not fear human persecution. Jesus warns his disciples not to be afraid of those who can kill the body, because their power is limited to the physical and the temporary. Come on, man. Fear God instead. The true fear to have is a respectful fear of God. Fear means respect. Respecting God, respecting his power, who has the ultimate power to cast one into hell, after death, an eternal consequence. That is more significant than any bodily harm. Value is in God's eyes. Jesus reassures his disciples that they are more valuable to God than sparrows, and that God's care is so detailed that even the number of the hairs on their head is known. This highlights God's personal care and attention to us, to his followers. God's personal and attention to us. The passage encourages us to focus on our eternal destiny rather than being swayed by the threats or opinions of others. Come on, man. Fear of God provides strength. By properly fearing God, our fear of human opposition is diminished, giving us the courage to stand firm in our faith, even in the face of persecution. The world is going to persecute us for our faith in Jesus. Jesus predicted that his followers would face persecution for my sake and for the gospel. And he stated that the world would hate us because the world hated him first. Scripture teaches us that those who are persecuted for righteousness' sake are blessed, and that God's grace is sufficient even in suffering. Man. Matthew chapter 5, verse 10 through 12. Blessed are those who are persecuted for righteousness' sake, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. Blessed are you when others revile you and persecute you, and utter all kinds of evil against you falsely on my account. Rejoice and be glad, for your reward is great in heaven. Come on, man. For so they persecuted the prophets who were before you. Matthew chapter 5, verse 10 and 12 explains that those who are persecuted for the sake of righteousness, for Jesus' sake, are blessed, because their reward is the kingdom of heaven. This passage is part of the Sermon on the Mount, and it encourages us to rejoice and be exceedingly glad. Come on, man. Exceedingly glad. When we're insulted, when we're persecuted and slandered falsely. Because our suffering is a sign of our faith and a reflection of the persecution faced by the prophets before us. The ultimate message is to rejoice in hardship as an affirmation of one's faith and a promise of a great reward. Who is blessed? Those who are persecuted for righteousness' sake and for Jesus' sake are blessed. This is not a blessing for our mistakes. This is a blessing for living according to God's will and being identified with Christ. Come on. What is the reward? What is the reward? The reward for enduring this persecution is great. And the kingdom of heaven is ours. What to do when we're persecuted for following Jesus? What to do when people laugh and make fun of us for sharing the gospel? They're laughing and rejecting the message of Jesus Christ. Instead of reacting with sadness or anger, we are told to rejoice and be exceedingly glad. Come on. This is because our suffering is a continuation of the suffering of the prophets who came before us. And it is a sign of our commitment to God's kingdom. A commitment to God's kingdom over the kingdoms of the world. We must also have compassion. Compassion for those who persecute us. Love our enemies. And pray for them. Pray for the ones who are lost and suffering. Because if they really knew the truth, they wouldn't be persecuting and rejecting Jesus' name. Pray that they know the truth before it's too late. Pray that they see the light before it's too late. So shine your light. Shine Jesus' light out of you into the world, even when they reject us, even when they make fun of us, even when they turn away. Just pray for them. Man, have no fear. Man, I love y'all. Love one another. Have a blessed day.